Chair recognizes Ms. DiZoglio of Methuen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As a new member of the Commonwealth's House of Representatives, I thank you for this opportunity to rise before the honorable men and women of the 188th General Court and for the warm welcome you and your staff gave me upon arrival. I would also like to thank the gentleman from Haverhill, Mr. Chairman, along with all committee members and staff for their outstanding work on this budget. I stand before our colleagues to introduce House Amendment number 886, which is an amendment relative to municipal election ballots. This vital legislation will ensure that candidates in municipal elections are held to the same professional standards as candidates in county and state elections. As many of you read about at the beginning of this session, there were some unfortunate issues that arose regarding the ability to access and appear on a municipal election ballot. Currently, the state's Office of Campaign and Political Finance, commonly known as OCPF, requires all candidates for public office to record and report their campaign finance activity. Candidates who fail to file campaign finance reports by the established deadline are assessed a fine of $25 per day for every day they're late filing. The total amount of the daily fines is capped at $5,000, which means a candidate has 200 days or more than 6 months within which he or she may remedy any problems with their records, file the appropriate documentation, and pay the fine before further action may be taken against them. Under current law, OCPF may take court action against candidates for county office and candidates for state office to resolve delinquent cases. OCPF may also block a delinquent candidate's ballot access. Unfortunately, there's no such provision regarding candidates for municipal office because the word municipal is not included in the language of current law. The Attorney General has stated that she hopes that we, as a legislative body, will get this issue resolved as soon as possible, as this is a serious loophole that should have been included in the original language to begin with. It is extremely unfortunate that certain situations have occurred that have allowed us to realize that this loophole exists. But now that we have realized it, it is our duty to deal with this issue as swiftly and as effectively as possible before we allow another entire election cycle to proceed without closing a very apparent and problematic loophole. Currently, individuals seeking elected office at the town or city level may appear on the ballot and stand for election even if they have gone beyond the 200-day grace period, have not paid the $5,000 fine, have had this debt referred to a collections agency, and worst of all, have not disclosed sources of campaign contributions and receipts of campaign expenditures. House Budget Amendment 886 would seal the existing loophole for municipal candidates, thereby simply holding them to the same standards that county and state candidates are held to regarding ballot access. Mr. Speaker, you have tirelessly strived to execute the duties of your office, and I know that our colleagues in the 188th General Court would join me in commending you for the professionalism and the grace with which you have attended the affairs of the state. I thank you also for making a statement early on when this issue first arose, stating that you support closing this loophole. As the iconic former Speaker of the House, Thomas Tip O'Neill, famously stated, "All politics is local." Mr. Speaker, I know that truth informs my work and the work of you and our colleagues each and every day. Yet most of our local politicians are not required to adhere to these same standards. Municipal politicians are both the foundation and the front line of our democracy. The truth is that while many residents cannot name their state representative, most do know the names of those individuals who run their cities and towns. Therefore, municipal politicians must be held to these same standards, not only in principle, but also because they are the point of entry for most residents into our political system. If the foundation is weak, the House cannot stand. This legislation will ensure that our electoral process is fair and equitable across the board. It seals the loophole, allowing municipal candidates to remain on the ballot while in violation of campaign finance law. The fix is simple. This legislation merely adds the word municipal to the current law, allowing officials to block ballot access for county and state candidates who refuse to properly file campaign finance reports and pay the attendant fines. This is bipartisan legislation that has secured 31 co-sponsors from both Democrats and Republicans, ranging from some of our more liberal members to some of our more conservative members, and I thank you for that. Mr. Speaker, I am honored and happy that you and the Minority Leader and the state's Attorney General have all publicly stated support for the consistent application of our campaign finance laws, all stating that you support closing this loophole. That is why I am hopeful as I stand here now to respectfully request that we come together and demonstrate to our constituents, with our actions above our words, that we are serious about transparency, accountability, and reliability throughout our democracy. Now is the time to act on this measure and to show our constituents across the Commonwealth that we are capable of getting things done in a timely manner, in time to make a difference when it counts. And that is why, Mr. Speaker, I want to take this final moment to thank you and to thank the chair of the Joint Committee on Election Laws for helping to expedite this important piece of legislation up to the next committee hearing, and I respectfully withdraw my amendment. Thank you.